Hi, I'm Sylvia Gordon. I want to talk to you about powers of attorney, something that I'm sure you've dealt with in your career. If you're a new agent, you will deal with in your career, and something you are uniquely unqualified to really deal with. So we're putting insurance agents in a strange position because there's so many different types of power of attorney that we start talking to clients and we just use a general power of attorney term. And I think if I just, give you a little basic information, it might make your life a little bit easier as an insurance agent. So let's get started. The first thing about power of attorneys, when you're dealing with, let's say, for example, a Medicare Advantage client, and they say, oh, I have power of attorney over my mom. We've trained you to say that's fine. If you have power of attorney, you have the legal ability to sign for your mom. So it means you can do everything for your mom. Your mom does not need to be present. I would do my presentation for you, go through my completely compliant, presentation, and you would make the decision for your mom. You would sign on your mom's behalf. So I'm never actually required to talk to your mom. Now, this is the part that is unusual, is that I never have to actually see or hold or retain a copy or provide to the insurance company that power of attorney. So back in the olden days, back in 2005, we had to secure a copy of the power of attorney and submit it with an application when somebody was signing, okay, which kind of made sense. Then a couple of years later, the insurance company said, we don't want it. It's more paper. We don't want to deal with it. If we want it, we'll ask for it. So that was kind of nice to relieve that burden on us. But now insurance agents just take the word for it that there actually is that legal document conveying the power. So I had a client, personal client, and I did everything for her. And then her daughter called in screaming because she has power of attorney over her mom, and how dare I sell her mom a plan. So I'm like, mom appeared to be totally competent, and I had no reason to suspect she had power of attorney. I wouldn't ask somebody, does somebody have power of attorney over you? That's kind of insulting. So I had no way to know, but I'm very sorry. What type of power of attorney do you have, and can you furnish me a copy? So that's when the conversation took a different turn, because then it turned out she did not have power of attorney, but she was going to get one. Okay, whatever. This is the thing you guys deal with all the time. And last week, we had a son call in, and he said, hey, I already changed my mom's insurance for 2022. I already did the research with the agent. I have power of attorney, and I did it, and I enrolled her. Since then, since October 15th, she's already changed her plan 6 times. She met with 6 different agents. She did some of them on the phone, and she's enrolled in 6 different plans. He goes, what can I do to prevent her from doing that? And there's nothing I can do. There's nothing we can do on our end. He can go get guardianship so that she's not able to enter any contract. But a simple power of attorney is not enough to stop her from doing that. Now, there's a lot of different powers of attorney. So why don't we just back up a little bit and let's talk about different powers of attorney, because this will help you guys in your own life, because most people have cause to use a power of attorney with their own parents, in-laws, your kids, and of course, your own estate planning. So limited power of attorney, that's real easy. I got to close on my house. I'm not going to be here for the closing because I have to be at a conference. I can give power of attorney to my sister with a specific limited scope to work with the mortgage company. So a limited power of attorney is very simple. A lot of times people give that away because they're like, I'm totally mentally cognizant, but I'm really bad with financial affairs. My husband always handled that. He died, so I could give financial power of attorney to my daughter for insurance, banking, whatever. But I'm still doing the other stuff. So limited power of attorney, something you might use, like, again, in your own family. General power of attorney is much broader, and that's typically what we're dealing with. And it will still have, you can delineate the different things you do have access to or not. But this can vary by state. And the thing that catches you guys off is that if we're not supposed to look at it, we're not supposed to verify they even have it. We're just supposed to take their word for it. Do we as agents have any liability? And no, As long as you have no reasonable expectation that they're trying to commit fraud, right, then you're good. We haven't seen that in the Medicare space. Let's hope we don't. Throw salt on my shoulder or whatever, we do that. But it's something that I see more and more as, the volume of people are streaming into Medicare, is that we're dealing with these power of attorneys. We're not really sure what to do with them. So let's talk about the other type of springing power of attorney, and that will come into effect if something happens. So that's typically in a medical situation where you guys aren't generally dealing with a springing. You're more likely dealing with a durable power of attorney, which you have to make it while you're mentally competent, and then it will work. It's made with the anticipation that you're going to be incapacitated by illness or injury. Okay, so you feel like your dad's starting to get some dementia. He's still legally competent, He still has the ability to give you the power, and he does. And then when he does slide in deeper into dementia, you already have it. You don't have to run to court to get a guardianship. You have this durable power of attorney. Durable means it continues to work even after he's incapacitated. And everybody needs a durable power of attorney. So single people, if you're single out there, if you don't have a power of attorney and you go to the hospital, then your boyfriend, lover, whatever, your family or the hospital can deny them access. So power of attorney is very important for all single people out there.
Hello, cutie pie.
Parents, you need a power of attorney, because otherwise your kid's doctor, my 18-year-old's doctor, won't allow me any information if I don't get a power of attorney on file. That's frustrating when you send a kid away to college. So there's a lot of information here. The thing I'm trying to impart to you guys is you're not really well versed in this. You're not attorneys, right? You don't know. Most of you have never had a power of attorney. So if somebody says, I have power of attorney over my mom, you're going to take their word for it. Your duty starts with, as long as there's no obvious signs of fraud, that something's up, then you're okay to proceed with that person. They are taking the liability when they sign as power of attorney that they have power of attorney, that they have the power for which they are representing to you, and they may not. So they might only have, we have the different powers of attorney. They might have had a power of attorney for healthcare, but they didn't have a power of attorney for insurance. Again, I had a client call me from California, and she wanted to buy a Medicare Advantage plan. No problem. She said, my daughter has power of attorney. She lives in New York. She'll be calling you. Fantastic. Daughter calls me. We took care of everything. Simple, smooth, just another day at the office. About a month later, I get an irate call from another daughter in a different state. How dare me do this? She's going to sue me. That's what talk about your blood pressure going up, always being threatened to be sued all the time. Because she has power of attorney over her mother, and I did not have the ability to do what I did. So now I'm like, whoa. I asked both of the daughters to fax me their copies of their power of attorney. One had the broad power of attorney to do everything with finances, insurance, any of that. One had a very limited power of attorney. So thank God the one that I dealt with was right and everything went through. But even the daughters didn't understand what they had. They didn't know. They just power of attorney. But there's different types of power of attorneys. And when you make a power of attorney, you can be very specific. You can say, I want my kids to be able to have access to this, but not this. So as an agent, you're not an attorney. You are not typically able to read and figure out what's going on. So just remember, the liability for you ends when that person signs. Okay? So they're taking the liability that they're doing the right thing. Now, another easy question is, how do you sign for a power of attorney? Because if you've never done it, say you're a new agent, do you sign on the line where it says applicant? Do you sign? So if you had power of attorney for me, Sylvia Gordon, would you sign Sylvia Gordon, power of attorney? Because a lot of people get confused. No. Power of attorney doesn't give you the ability to forge somebody else's name. Nothing ever gives you that ability. You're going to write what your name is, Bob Smith, power of attorney for Sylvia Gordon. So a lot of times the power of attorney doesn't know how to sign it, and they're asking you. So they're going to sign their name as power of attorney for the person you're providing the insurance for. I'm sure you have more questions about power of attorneys, and they're going to come up in your career. When you do, just, reach out to your staff here at Gordon Marketing. Your marketing support staff is here to help you through all of this. Text us, email us, call us. We have a live chat on our computer. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button, and we will help you keep building your career and your body of knowledge to be a better agent.